All right, let's talk about folders. Now, folders are a great way of getting your data organized, whether it's signals or calls. I'll show you what that looks like right now. So to start off, obviously you have kind of your calls here on your home screen. Let's go to the recording section and let's look at our calls more in depth. Now, I can always drag calls to folders. So for example, I could, create a new folder here. I could give it a title saying, random folder, maybe something more useful along the lines, and I can just drag those calls into the folder itself. I can also click on these three dots in the upper right hand corner and just add it straight to any folder. I can also go to the call and use those three dots as well. Now, I can also add things to folders by signals. So if I go to the signals themselves, I can filter by a specific folder. I could go to the signal, I can hit add folder, and I can search for the folder and add it to that folder. I can also select all the signals I'm looking at, or just select some of them, hit add to folder, and select the folder that I want. You can, of course, also drag documents to folders as well that you generate. Let's go to the integrations folder. Now, the integrations folder is just a folder that we've created that go over all the integrations that people have asked for us over some period. It looks like it was around November, January with some of this data. Now, at the top here, you'll see there are the title. I can add a folder within a folder. So I could say maybe this is a specific thing like CRM integrations or something like that. And then I could add data from here into that folder itself. So I can have basically subfolders. I can copy a link to this folder, and I can even change the privacy settings. Now, the privacy settings are important to note. We have two settings for folders right now. We have workspace, which means anyone inside of this workspace can have access to the folder. And we have private, which means only you have access to this folder. Now, what's important to note is that privacy of the folder does not change the privacy of the content within the folder. Now, what I mean by that is if you have these signals here, and this signal is a public signal, it's accessible to the rest of the workspace, that's great. But that doesn't mean that everyone can see it if the folder is private or the folder is public. So if I make this folder private or public, it doesn't change the permissions of this signal itself or the call or the document. So it just changes the permission of the folder. Just the folder will be private. You can also filter by, of course, other folders, recordings, signals, documents, and so on. Now, one of the most magical parts of folders is you can chat with it. So up here, I could ask, what are all the positive things that people were asking for? Or what types of features were people asking for? Or what were the top features that people were asking for? And it will only pull from the data that I see on the left-hand side to answer those questions. So it's a really powerful way of organizing your data, asking questions from it, and using it there. Now, another thing to note about folders is you can also create documents from them. So if I had that integrations, but if I wanted to, I could say, okay, those were all the integrations. Now let me find the integrations. Okay, cool. And I can also pick the subfolder and I can add that folder, give it a title, give it a description. And now we'll go through every single piece of data inside of that folder to generate this document. So this can be a really powerful way of going from your calls or signals to organizing that into folders to generating documents, answering questions just with that data. And that's the high level of folders. Let me know if you have any other questions. Talk to you later.